Have you ever had your catalytic converter stolen? Do you know someone who has? You can always tell. You see a pissed off person in a really loud car. Now today we're going to talk about a rising crime trend that is affecting many car owners across the country: catalytic converter theft. Catalytic converters are valuable auto parts that contain precious metals like platinum, palladium, rhodium. Thieves are stealing them from parked cars, often in broad daylight, and selling them for cash. Do you know what a catalytic converter is and why they're important? See, catalytic converters help clean the air coming from the engine. It uses a chemical reaction and heat to transform the bad air into good air. Basically, when you burn gasoline, it creates nitric oxide and carbon monoxide, stuff like that. The converter converts them into steam, water vapor, carbon dioxide, good air. Simple. The problem is so bad that a beloved national treasure has even been the victim. Some knucklehead just stole the catalytic converter off the Wienermobile in Las Vegas the other day. The Wienermobile! If you could crawl under that and cut the catalytic converter off and run away, these criminals have no fear of getting caught. This crime is becoming increasingly common in large cities, including Los Angeles, San Francisco, New York, Chicago. We're going to get back to San Francisco in a minute. According to a recent report by the National Insurance Crime Bureau, thefts of catalytic converters increased 400% from 2019 to 2020. But it's now 2023, and the numbers have gotten much, much higher, even though they aren't officially recorded. However, despite this alarming trend, many police departments are struggling to catch the culprits and prosecute them. Now, there are several reasons for this. Firstly, catalytic converter theft is a relatively low-priority crime for law enforcement. With limited resources, they're often focusing on more serious crimes like violent offenses and property crimes. Now, this is a property crime, but it's not one they seem to care about. And secondly, the thieves are difficult to catch because they can work quickly and quietly, often using battery-operated saws to remove the converters in just seconds. They can also blend in with other workers in scrapyards where the stolen parts are sold. Finally, there is a lack of regulation in the scrap metal industry, which makes it easy for thieves to sell the stolen parts without being detected. Now, some cities have started to crack down on this by requiring scrapyards to keep records of the sellers and their identification, but it's still a widespread problem and no one really seems to be taking it seriously. Every now and then, they will interview the local police and they'll do a puff piece on the news giving basically worthless advice. They'll tell you to park in well-lit areas and install motion-activated lights near your car, because thieves are less likely to strike in well-lit areas. Secondly, consider installing an anti-theft device, like a catalytic converter lock or a vehicle alarm. These can deter thieves from getting into your car. Yawn. These are worthless. They're going to come in the middle of the night, take 30 seconds, cut it off, run, and you're gone. Okay? This is worthless advice from the cops. Sorry, I'm sure they're well-intended, but it just doesn't fix the problem. Finally, be aware of the signs of a stolen catalytic converter, like a loud engine or a strange smell. If you suspect that your converter has been stolen, you'll know. Contact the police immediately. See, it's very illegal to drive without a converter. Now, somehow, the police seem to care about that law more than the actual theft, so you'll probably get a ticket. Now, there are two main reasons why this is happening and why it's getting worse. One, they're very easy to steal and sell. It literally just takes moments to cut them off with a cordless saw, and they're worth a small fortune. A recycler will pay between $50 and $250 for a catalytic converter. But some of them go for $800 up to $1,500 if they come from a hybrid vehicle. We're looking at you, Toyota Prius, which is the most common, most frequent victim of this crime. 2, and most importantly, the cops don't really care. Sure, it's an inconvenience, but this crime doesn't physically hurt anyone, and insurance will probably cover most of it. Now, there's a story about a guy in San Francisco cutting away a catalytic converter, and the cops approach him while he's still under the car, caught red-handed. and they just let him walk away. I guess he said he was sorry. That's San Francisco for you. This is just another story about how crime is just out of control in large cities. It's getting a little boring. Unfortunately, there's nothing you can do about it. If you choose to live in these cities, that's on you. Move or accept it. You can't vote your way out of this nonsense. And you can't use violence to protect your own property. Oh, for sure, you'll be the one getting arrested.